I would hope that that my teaching would inspire people to go back to the Bible and to read it carefully. I think it's also essential to communicate a respect for opinions and for diversity of viewpoints. So I'm a big believer in class discussion and allowing students to add to the reflections on the text. So I do some mini lectures within my courses on particular topics, but the courses are always discussion driven by the students. So I'll have a set of bullet points that I want to cover and address, but however we get to them and in whatever order, and if students have something else they'd rather talk about, I mean, I want, the class is for them, it's their course. And so I'm a big believer in trying to get the students to take ownership of that educational process, and we can explore together. And I am always amazed by the things that my students see in the text, and I learn something every time we get together that I didn't know before, and that is so exciting to me to then go back and reshape my own thinking on things after being challenged on a particular point or trying to answer a question that I really couldn't answer in class, or I mean to just wrestle with those issues myself and to demonstrate, I think also you don't have to have all of the answers, right? And that the probing of the questions is part of the joy. There's something that benefits us when we actually have a whole Bible and when we think about all of Scripture working together and not just the Sermon on the Mount or not just the New Testament or focusing on isolated verses in Paul, but that if we can actually hold a canon together that itself has a diversity of voices, a plurality of views, if we can actually do that, then the Scripture provides us a model for how to do theology, for how to think ethically. I'm involved in my congregation in a variety of ways. I've been an adult Sunday school teacher for a while, a few years, and this year I gave that up to teach the youth high school class, which was a shift for me. I haven't done that in a while. And it's been very helpful and beneficial. At least it's for me, I guess. And I preach occasionally when my pastor is gone. I'll fill the pulpit. And as I think about how I've come to express things, I know that teaching Sunday school and preaching on Sundays has shaped the way that I teach and communicate in the classroom. So I have become much less rigid and academic and using big words in the classroom than I would have, say, if I would have been teaching here, 10 years ago or something. I really think that my own experience of trying to communicate Scripture in an accessible, clear way outside of the academic setting has benefited me within the academic setting to be clear and thoughtful and to cut through a lot of the confusion that often happens as you're working in scholarly discussions of a particular topic. And this is particularly helpful and important, I think, for students who prepare for pastoring, that they need to remember that when they go from seminary with all of its lofty ideas, that they're going into a congregation where you're not going to have those same sort of dynamics at play that you had in the classroom. And so to model a little bit of that in the classroom, that you don't, the technical vocabulary in the high discussion is great and wonderful, and I do that, but that there's also the time to step back and say, okay, how does this play out? How does this function in the congregational?